This will be for the month of October. Um, just going to see if the other deck here pulls out anything a little different for. I have done one for October, but this will be just an additional one. So, for those of you who have these in October, this one wasn't more specific to what was the grays coming in. It was just a little more general. But anyway, we'll just sort of start with what we've got here. So, right off the bat, I am seeing of Cups out here. Now, I will say that all of the cards that I'm seeing in this particular deck aren't exactly major arcana. They're more along the lines of minor. So I think the events for the period of October are fairly neutral. I mean, I'm not saying neutral as in no problems. I'm saying neutral as in, not stupendous large, events that are taking place for whoever this resonates for. It's a general reading. And again, also just to be mindful of the fact that you're all on different timelines. So some of you will have, be making decisions in a greater span of time versus those that are just doing it in a, not making a decision everybody's not making a decision on Saturday, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So anyway, let's just get right into it. So the King of Cups basically is dealing with some kind of a water sign. So there is something here that kind of speaks to there being, sorry guys, I don't know if this camera little thing is going to work out so well, but anyway, so the King of Cups is dealing with some kind of a water sign. So again, that could be Aquarius, Pisces, Cancer, anything like that. But I definitely see like there's some elements here that kind of speak to it's general. I feel like you are basically in a space of feeling a certain sense of abundance, and I don't know, like emotionally feeling much more satisfied. The fact that we have the Empress as the clarifier, it feels like this is you. There's something here that feels like you are, because normally the King of Cups is somebody who's in control of their emotions and their feelings. It's not the driving force of their behavior, although they are more oriented toward connections, spiritual connections. So I feel on a spiritual level that this is important to you at this time. So in the month of October, I feel like there's a lot going on for you that speaks to something being at a high level. There's also something here about, a significant spiritual connection, obviously, is what I'm picking up more so. But I definitely feel like this is for those that are interested in more of a romantic aspect. I would say that this is more of a romantic sort of gesture coming in here as well. Because the king is somebody who is that romantic. It's somebody who has that ability to be in control of a situation and come forward in a way that is warm and receptive, and it's where you're also sort of meeting people along the same line as you, so whether this is metaphysical or otherwise, but there's something here that kind of speaks to there being mutacious mood around you. So it's almost like there's a new level of understanding, and there's also a new level of something coming in around possibly around water here as well for some, or maybe water is relevant or important. Hi Andrea. And but anyway, I do feel like there is a sense that there could be some sense of a Prince Charming kind of moment. Something here that kind of speaks to romance kind of returning, or maybe something around improvements in love life. So something along that is something here that kind of speaks to also mother energy, abundant energy, but it seems to be, most of it seems to be around the emotional aspects of things in the beginning of October. I feel like it's also kind of speaking to whatever your answers are. They seem to be close to home. So again, there's, or deep within, like something that speaks to strong intuitive inspirations as well that are coming through here. And this could be also coming through in terms of dreams, but it also can be you getting in touch with your emotional states or your emotional feelings as well at this time. That's all clarified by the Hierophant. So I feel like there is something here that does speak to a long-term connection. Sorry, Edward, just reading your remark there. This is Libra on this one, because I get, but I mean, for sure, if you guys want to ask questions at the end, I will do some of the, I'll do, depending on the power of my phone, but I will do some of the extras but right now, for Libra in this one, And I should maybe do like an actual general one here too. I've not done that before. I find it really hard to get through all the signs, but just because of my lack of time. But okay, well, we'll start with this first. So Libra October, I do feel like there's a lot more of your answers that are closer to home or in deeper inspirations or in dream states, that kind of thing. So there's something here around a long-term connection here as well. Somebody that you may have known for somewhere there is more of, and again, this could be a father figure that's coming through here with a mother figure, but there's something around that connection here that seems to be, and sorry, I should just point out that other card that you're seeing there, that is actually part of the next one. So we'll just stay on top of these two. Sorry, didn't mean to confuse the read there. But but yeah, anyway. So again, with the King of Cups, it does feel like there is something here more along the lines of, again, maybe there's activities of swimming or something around water or something, again, in the way of trying to go near a lake or something that involves water. But there's also that feeling of drawing on a lot more of the home space or around your personal space internally, because I feel like you are in that space of trying to draw things to you, as the abundance card as well as the King of Cups is, trying to find a certain level of satisfaction on a personal level. There's a lot of feeling kind of go with that combination, but they're deep feelings because like I said, the Empress is here, even though it is more of a clarifier. The Empress is all about getting to know who you are. Strong desire to kind of nurture the self, I would say. In some cases, this could be nurturing more of a water sign here as well, or feeling more nurtured in that connection. But I feel like there is some kind of a growth here as well. So there's something here about creating something here that emotionally somehow helps you to be more balanced. Generally, of course, we do know that the Empress is that card of, feeling like there's a lot more stability or something here that makes you feel like there's a certain sense of luck and emotion and feeling like your emotions are very deep, very heightened, something in this space here. Very intuitive. And again, there's also energy that can be about you being a lot more open or receptive to something in October. You could be involving yourself with somebody who's also a counselor, anything like that. But either way, I feel, or that could be around you, that energy, something to do with counseling. But either way, I just feel like it's a place where there's a lot more abundant emotion, abundant feelings, where you actually have the ability to inspire others, in however you are manifesting that. So whether that's reading, writing, whatever it is that you do, there's something there that feels like a lot more connecting. And I feel like this could even be in terms of, again, doesn't have to be a love relationship. When I see the Hierophant out there, and again, that's further out because but we'll get to the other card there in a second. But just with the initial connection here, I feel like you're in the space of really connecting with yourself. There's a lot of energy around emotional satisfaction, like I said. So anyway, I feel like you're spiritually energized in this period, at least in the beginning of October. And I feel like you're going to reach some of your goals or dreams or something on an emotional level, inspiration, whatever it is, it's coming through your emotional state. Okay, now the next out, this one I kind of prematurely read there with the Hierophant, but I do like with this card here. Now, the Two of Swords is that card of being at a crossroads, potentially, or being stuck, not being able to move forward. There's here about, where there could be a certain level of rigidity. You're not open to something, or something's been cut off in terms of a long-term connection. So I'm going to have to probe that one a little bit more because it seems weird that there's so much, um, you know, rich sort of emotional state initially, and then all of a sudden everything is put into this position where things are stuck, because it is a position of a long-term connection is not ready to make a decision, or you're not ready to make a decision, or you're almost immobilized by fear because of a connection. So there's something about we'll kind of go through the rest of it here and see where it sort of leads you in terms of what you should do. But right now, it just feels like there's a certain level of not pushing through the boundary here. I don't know if it's that you should or that you shouldn't, but right now there's a sense of being stuck. So it's almost like because there's so much of this nurturing and connection with this water sign, then all of a sudden it's something just becomes paralyzed, or at least it becomes moves into this space of, now what? It's like there's some sense of um, procrastinating. You have to make a decision about something that's related around a long-term commitment and not really maybe quite ready to do that. But there's just something here that could potentially either mean there's got to be some kind of, breakthrough moment, or something has to move through this standstill energy, right? So this either is that, you're in the middle of a negotiation and nothing is moving forward, or this long-term connection, something like that, there's too many indifferences in this situation, where now things are stuck. So I'll ask another question to see whether or not this abundant period and all these deep emotions is related around this particular relationship. But we'll have to kind of flesh it, like I said, because it's almost like this is where you're immobilized by the fear, you're stuck, you're not able to move forward, and there's a chance or a decision that really needs to be made here. But I'm also seeing this could be blocked emotions. This could be blocked around a long-term connection. Could be all these things as well, but either there's an imbalance. There's some sense of fear or uncertainty that's coming through with that sword. So I would say that there is a level of insecurity or something here that needs to be addressed. I'm just trying to... I just want to ask maybe one more question here, because for me, there's something that's still kind of a little bit missing here. Okay, so if we were to, let's see here, Spirit, what is the Two of Swords? What is this connection? What is the decision around this connection? What kind of decision needs to be made? What kind of decision needs to be made? Okay, the Page of Wands would be something that needs to go forward, or an action that needs to be taken place. And there's justice, you in the reading, some sense of balance that needs to occur. And so that would indicate to me that there's some kind of love. And the Five of Cups indicates there is an emotional situation that has been very disappointing. Five of Cups bringing out what? You're going to have to persevere with the Strength card. What is the big decision that needs to be made? Around family, what's the Ten of Pentacles? What would be the outcome around that? Someone you consider to be family, long-term commitment. Why the Three of Swords? So the Swords is telling us there's conflict. What is the Three of Swords? So why take a leap of faith in the situation or away from the situation? Five of Swords is almost kind of cutting your losses here. What are the Five of Swords? Okay, so the Hermit is going inward. Could be Virgo energy here as well. Still unsure about what this decision is here. Six of Cups, again, sort of something from the past. What is the Magician energy? There's something that you still need to be working here. It's not really giving me a whole lot, but there's something that you still need to be working on that is, yet to manifest. There's something here about something around the manifestation from the past, something that you're working on that you really need to focus on, because you're at a crossroads. You either want something that is in around a family issue, or it's almost like you have to choose yourself or choose something else, because the Hermit is using a lot of that inner wisdom to sort of arrive at a situation. But the Five of Swords tells me there's a lot of conflict going on. Fool, you need to take a leap of faith, move into another direction here. But the Three of Swords has been a lot of battle, a lot of conflict, a lot of issues. So Ten of Pentacles is where that conflict is. So it's in around a family matter, in around closeness, around long-term, connection for sure. Someone from the past, the card, you're going to have to persevere, because not only do you have sadness and conflict, but there is a sense of you choosing yourself over the situation. So we're going to go back to that and just sort of see what the rest of the cards pull out. But that is kind of the gist of it. We'll go back to that one. Okay. So the next card out, we're going to go back to that one and just sort of see what, because I also did some other cards that, different deck. Okay, so now we're at the card of Knight of Pentacles. Now, this one is a slow moving card, of course. And of course, we've got the Queen of Wands, which is actual action. Okay, so what I would say is, in terms of practical matters, that's really what the focus is telling you, that you're really going to have to face something and around that. So I would say you're in a space where you're going to have to set some financial goals and stick to them. I feel like having to put together some kind of a budget and really kind of carry things forward and build some security here. Being frugal, I would say, is what this card represents. It does mean that there can be steady or will be steady improvement financially, but it is more of a long-term security, and it's going to take some time to kind of build that. So this is a lot of energy around hardworking, types of energy. So it doesn't change anything overnight. In terms of actual person, you're going to have to accept the things that you can't change about that relationship. You have to accept it for what it is, because it's almost like that's the only way that you're going to move forward. The I'm not seeing lots in terms of pentacles here in the month of October. There's a couple cards further out, but overall, it does sort of speak to me as though there is going to be something here over time, like I said, that does, present as money that will be a lot more steady. Usually when I see the Eight of Pentacles, to me, that's the just keep working at your job sort of, energy, but it is followed up with the Queen of Wands. So I mean, it's still a really good combination, because it's a persevering energy, and it is, accepting obligations, accepting responsibilities, and, taking responsibility for your own actions. It's all of that. So the queens are, again, not a dynamic energy where I would say somebody is kind of racing forward. It's really more that energy of, it's, how do I say? It's really more that energy of, you could be more dealing with or be that person who's a little more on the charismatic side. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, again, seems to be consistently coming up here. But anyway, it is still that energy of, drawing some attention to yourself is really what I see there. But doing things in a very, methodical way. So you're not doing anything, full on. It's doing things in a methodical way, but doing it in such a way that it's got a little bit of flair. I mean, the fact that we've got the Queen of Wands here does indicate this could be somebody who is business oriented here as well. So there's a lot of energy around almost a duality within the self, a lot of energy that still speaks to, I think, you coming through in the reading here. There's two queens, could be a very strong female figure that's coming through here as well, because there is about three of them here, but I feel like it's more too specific to this, whoever this resonates for. Again, the somehow Queen of, or the Knight of Pentacles kind of tames down the Queen. So, if this could be nervous energy when you're kind of going forward leaps and bounds, but that's not really where I feel, is because that Knight of Pentacles is almost like, it's really pulling everything right back and trying to think of the consequences of everything you do, focusing on all the ways that you want to move ahead, but doing it in such a way that it's very slow, and you're projecting, as to the you're going inward and really looking at the inner self as much as you are reflecting on the outside. There is nothing of a suddenness here, because this is a lot of energy around wisdom and knowledge, and a lot of feminine energy here as well. So it doesn't mean that you're only dealing with females, but it does mean that the energy is coming out as more receptive and more open to things and more passionate about things and um, more focused on getting to know the softer side of oneself. It's almost like there, it's less of a strength, or I shouldn't say less of a strength, but less masculine sort of energy. Masculine energy tends to be a little bit more, got to take the reins, got to get this done, push through, push through, push through. And I feel like that energy is starting to change. It's starting to reverse into more of a softer kind of energy. I don't know that I see anything, overly extreme happening in this month. It's almost like, things are just going on more of an, they take on the energy of building on ideas, like building on, mostly on ideas. Here's what I see. because there is more of an enthusiastic path kind of forward to create the life you want. You've got more energy shown here. And again, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio still very much relevant with those other cards, but the part that confuses me is the big decision. That's what I'm trying to sort of gain from reflecting on, the other cards here. Okay, so we're getting into the Five of Wands. Now, the Five of Wands is the card of, okay, there's something here that needs to shift. So I definitely feel like the Five of Wands, where it needs to shift, is around control, or there's a battle for control, something like that. The Five of Wands does indicate that there is something here about, jealousy going on around you. So it could be around a father figure. It could be around a real strong masculine type, somebody who's very firm, rigid, doesn't like to open up to a lot of, doesn't like to be pushed, out of their comfort zone. They like things a certain way, because the Emperor is somebody who has a lot of rules and regulations and things that they would follow. And I will say, because that of Pentacles is also coming in here, maybe you are dealing with a father figure, younger person, but but again, there's still just a lot of energy here that kind of speaks to some jealousy that, is kind of, there's an easily triggered sort of situation with a person, if that's what it is coming through as. And if it's not with that person specifically, I would say that you're struggling to kind of maintain some of the upper hand or the control in a situation. Because this is, again, could be somebody who's very easily threatened by you, easily triggered. But it's also energy about struggling to kind of maintain a sense of balance or control over a situation. So, like I said, there's something here that kind of speaks to a secret competition, I would say. And again, it's coming through as, a competition. For those where it's a person, it's going to be more of a competition, with regards to person. So again, I feel like it's about competing for control or leverage in a situation. So there's something here about, I don't know if it's much, and for those of you that are looking for a job, I don't necessarily see that coming through here. If you are looking for a job, I don't really see it in October. For those of you that already have an existing job, I feel like you're just continuing on with that path. But I mean, because that Five of Wands next to the Emperor is here, it gives me a little bit of a feeling of, what's the old adage, what is it? Using, robbing Peter to pay Paul, something along that line. So it's also a card that tells you don't panic, because there is still a sense of control here. Things are still within your control, and you will rise to the challenge to overcome it. There's nothing I see yet that's showing, any expression of being out of control on a financial level or otherwise. Now we're getting to the Four of Pentacles. Again, it's a good card. Four of Pentacles with the Seven of Pentacles. Now, there's a lot of things that you're still kind of bringing to the forefront. So you're still kind of working through a situation here, that is in around finances. Some of you, it can indicate that, emotions are being held back here, being a little tight with the money, which is great, I would say, at this point, because of all the other surrounding cards. It's really about keeping things, established with your foundation. Pursue your goals in a firm, slow, steady way is really what I see there. There is, as I say, a couple of the queens here. So I think it was three actually, but either way, the main ones that came out were to the clarifiers. I feel like this is you just keeping yourself open to the new ideas, and but there is a sense of kind of clinging to the financial aspect of things in the month of November or October, sorry. And I might do November here pretty soon too again. But I just feel like there's an inability to let go, because I feel like this would be you not feeling protected or secure in some way. Or you don't want to let go of something, someone, a situation, but there is a sense of that, because there's a relationship that's strong here, it coming out with the Hierophant. I would say that that is somehow correlated. So it is a fixed idea about how you represented security and safety, and you're holding back You know, we're holding back on your finances and holding back a little bit on the ideas, because there's almost a sense of there's some change around you. There's some flux, because again, we did have that Five of Wands, and that is the card of, you know, there being some battles or some difficulty to deal with. I feel like you're protective of your wealth or your possessions, or you're clinging to the things that, you know, again, are around your emotions as well as your stability at this time. Just because there is some change in the mix here. There's something here where there's an adjustment that you're having to make, and it looks like it's on two different fronts, not just in one. Like I said, the Five of Wands is rivalry, competitiveness. It's all about standing firm with what you know, your position, because there were some other cards that came out to that effect as well, and I'll get to those. But I feel like you're putting a little bit too much energy, time and energy into this rival, or into this thing that you don't really have time for. So it's really about make time for yourself, and, you know, only take on the significant challenges, because the small ones are really just in your time being attacked. And in that case, you're just, you know, running around reacting versus acting, you know, in a way that would be helpful to you. Okay, we're going to go to the next ones here. If it's getting too dark here, I might just put the car back on to show the light before I head back. Okay, so next one's out, and actually these are kind of the final cards here, but maybe I'll move that over to the side. Okay, actually maybe I will put that on, guys. Give me a second. That's probably easier for you to see. Okay, so now we are in that space of Six of Swords. All right, so Six of Swords can indicate that there is some sense of travel up ahead, or some kind of a transition. So again, whether this is, I don't see a direct move, but there is definitely transition of some sort. The Six of Swords, like I said, you're still trying to find some kind of balance in a situation, or try to, you know, find some harmony in a scenario, but it does bring you closer to the situation when you are in transition. So that, again, the Six of Swords, it's been a bit battle. It's not an easy one scenario here, because the swords are usually more cerebral, more, what's the word, conflict sort of driven. I would say at this point, you know, you're ready to kind of, or should be in that space of ready to release some things. So anything you've been clinging on to, it's almost like you need to make energy, or need to make space for new energy to come through. And that's what I would say is where you're at. So it's almost like there's been too much competition, too much stress, too much challenge, and you're being advised to release some of that, make some time for you, make some space for you. Make some space for your passions, or the things that are important to you, because this is where you need to spend a bit more time and attention, and especially when it's followed up by the Seven of Wands. Like I said, I mean, this is just it's a really good indicator that you are in a space of kind of self-oriented activities, because the Seven of Wands is, you know, someone who doesn't like to be pushed around. It's also that card of, maybe you felt like you were becoming your own worst enemy in a sense with the Six of Swords, because of that combination, the card of being in an advantageous position. Anything with the Seven of Wands, because you're holding your own. You have a strong reaction to something, but it's like you're pushing back. You're trying to push yourself towards something. And that something, I would say, is King of Swords, you. It's like bringing everything full circle back to you. Like I said, I feel like you still are in an advantageous position in October, because you have the ability to succeed. There's enough skill set with the Seven of Wands to take on battles and challenge things and win. I don't feel like you are hesitating to take a stand in October. You still strong point where you feel comfortable, you know, pushing back. And again, this is still, this Seven of Wands is also moving into that space of spiritual maturity. So there's something here that is still being developed. And I feel like at this point, it feels like you feel misunderstood, and you're separating yourself away from things to be able to move forward. Now, in some decks, it does indicate that this would be a writing card. You know, there's wisdom, there's knowledge with the Seven of Wands, and it definitely incorporates all of that information together so you can meet a challenge. But it is either way a card of conviction and strength, and, you know, really making your own decisions and doing the inner work. When it's coupled next to the Six of Swords. So again, I still feel like in terms of romantic situation, you're afraid to get hurt here, and so this is still putting up the feeling a little bit stifled. But just know that it's a bit of a phase. You're trying to get clear on where you're headed, and that's why there's a certain degree of transition or separation, you know, from other things maybe at this time around you, because helping you to stay strong. So it's you being true to your own vision or getting clear on what that vision is. But either way, you're in a space of meeting those challenges. And again, once we get to the King of Swords, it's the same sort of thing. This is still, you know, being in a place able to overcome opposition because you're dealing with things head on, direct. And the King of Swords is your energy. It definitely speaks to, you know, using your mind and intellect over, you know, bigger, the whole picture over your scenarios in the month of October. But it's also having a high standard, and maybe in some respects it could be being a little bit more over controlling, but I don't feel so much that. I feel like you're holding your own, even though I see lots of anxiety and worry with this Nine of Swords energy. There's a lot of things that are really pulling you in the month of October emotionally. um, as I said, I mean, it was weird because it came out feeling really strong in the beginning, but as we're going through here toward the end of October, things look a little bit more challenging here. So it's almost like the structure and the routine and those kinds of things are adhered to or are there, but it's almost like there's just too much worry in your head about, you know, how things should look or where they will go because of, you know, but this is you thinking critically. You know, you're really analyzing things and really trying to do things in a methodical way. Libra Aquarius could also again be present, but I just feel like something is really impacting you negatively. And it might be, you know, you still have more leverage in the situation. It feels like it's somehow impacting you and your logic. And so maybe there are some things that you are dealing with emotionally that you are taking upon yourself and maybe turning on yourself. So you want to be watchful of that, because it's like you're allowing a situation to run amok in your head so that the influences you or possibly even your relationships in more of an interfering sort of way. But again, the key to this is just keep calm, cool, collected. You still have the upper hand in the situation. But even though I do feel that there's a lot of anxiety and worry about how things will go forward, don't try to give yourself the breathing space to figure things out. You will have to create a certain type of strategy to be able to go forward here. But that Seven of Swords is definitely kind of speaking to a little bit of, you know, deception that's around you as well. And I certainly feel like, again, because you were facing a choice that had something to do with a long-term commitment or connection, maybe this is where that deception is coming in here, because there's something here that speaks to, you know, not chilling for sure, but it's in around a Chariot card here as well. There could be something, I mean, I don't really feel like that's around a car, but around the success of something, because the Chariot does, it's almost like the Chariot is your ambition, your motivation to get something done. And it's almost like you really have to create a strategy and able to get there, because the Three of Cups is here. The Three of Cups tell further, further, further out. You have happiness and some kind of, you know, reward that journey, or at least there's some small accolade that will benefit you in some way where you will feel like you've mastered something here. But it's almost like if you are dealing with financial situations, either you're really, really worried about something that, and you're creating a strategy, and at the last minute, maybe something comes through and you work it out, which leads to the Chariot. And of course, that could be, even in terms of a relationship, again, it still feels like you're facing a choice, because the Chariot can also be a choice. So it feels like you have to choose a direction. You have to face a choice regarding a relationship. And it may be that somebody's trying to get away with something, but it could be you want to just take a short vacation. But I kind of doubt that, given the Nine of Swords. It's almost like there's way too much worry about the lies and the deception around you. You know, it's creating a bit of a blockage, I would say, mentally for you in the month of October. Now, the thing about that is the Seven of Swords is don't give up. You use your mind. You use your mind to figure this out. You read, you get curious, you research, you study, you figure out, you know, the things that you have worries about in October were probably worries long before October, but it's about you really focusing on what you have the ability to do and to really get to the heart of a matter of a situation. So again, there is something here about choosing a particular direction in October that you are have to make some kind of decision about, but it is going to lead you to, you know, ultimately a happy conclusion, because the Three of Cups does indicate that celebration. There's something here that speaks to is there's some kind of support, there's some kind of friendship, there's some kind of connection. There's something here that feels like it's helping you to heal a little bit, or a reunion of some sort, some kind of activity in the month of October. This could be your birthday celebration here as well, but there is something that still feels like it's moving in more of a positive direction. Let's see what else it's coupled by. And it is followed up by the star. So again, it's like the old wounds heal in some way, you know, because it's definitely around some kind of improvement in the situation. I wouldn't say perfect balance, but it's definitely improvement. And it feels like there's more of a smoother partnership or cooperation. Because it's like something is starting to move in a better direction. So whatever the situation that you think is going wrong or going awry, whatever, it feels like something around that is to improve, though. And I don't know how, but something about it is going to improve the situation. So whatever the dynamic is, just know that your worries still require some strategy. Hey, Devansha, and thank you so much for that donation. Really appreciate that. Almost done, and we'll get to that for sure. You are so sweet. Thank you, thank you. But yeah, with the star card, like I said, I mean, you're really in that space where it's almost like you have a better understanding of the situation. So it's come to a place of acceptance in some way here. You're definitely starting to find the balance over. So despite your worry and your anxiety, it's almost like you're being guided destination where, you know, you're starting to understand the path, because it is followed up with the Ace of Cups. So you're definitely in that space of feeling like you're able to operate again. So again, you were closing down, you were really worried about something. It's like you find a solution, and then all of a sudden your eyes are open and everything is like feeling like a new opportunity or a fresh start. Like there's really quite positive in that, and you are balancing it out, and it seems to be on your terms. I would say even with that star card again, because it's with the Three of Cups, it's almost like you're shining brighter. People are seeing you differently. There is a sense of much more renewed, and there's a healing quality in this period, like I said, because it helps you to feel like you're still on the right track. Something is coming through to show you that you're still on the right track, and that you can still you kind of reach these, you know, reach those horizons, because you're starting to see you actually have more support than you had anticipated. So again, there's things that are starting to improve significantly on more than one front. Almost parts here, guys. And so we get to the Ace of Cups. So this is again where everything is starting to work out better than you had anticipated. Ace of Cups, that gift coming in from the universe. So there's something that you weren't expecting, and it is coming through. And again, cups are usually about relationships and emotions, romance, any of that. So it feels like something is coming in better than what you expected. The Ace of Cups definitely speaks to accepting a situation here now, because it is revitalizing. So there's something here that is, like I said, deepening, even on an emotional level with a connection. I feel like there's a fresh start with that situation, because there's a healing quality to it. So there's something here that says this is a symbol of love. This is that spiritual quality. There's something here about seeking deeper meaning with this person, or this person is seeing that with you, and it's still an entrance, like a way of finding long-lasting, deep love. Because not only did you have the Ace of Cups, or do you have, but you also had the King of Cups. So it's a really deep love, a very deep connection. You had the Hierophant here. It's a very deep, warm connection here that I would say is starting to reinvent in some way, because there's something that is more of a fortunate increase, like a blessing of some sort, that's coming in for you. Some of you could be seeing this as a gift from the universe, financially, or some level of abundance, because the abundance card was here, but also very strongly something about the love front. Now we get to the Three of Wands. There's only 2 cards left here, so this is the other one. Three of Wands is everything is starting to move in the right direction. You are now starting to open things up. So again, indicate that there is some forward moving here. I doubt threes are all about expansion, all of that, but I definitely feel like you are starting by the end, like by the end of or October. I would say that you're really in a space of trying to plan ahead, a lot more creativity going on here, and it definitely is a space you feel like you're opening up to more possibilities. You're starting to see that there's more up ahead, more luck for you, or more, that is could be news from a distance as well, but there is a certain sort of a delay here with something with that Three of Wands, because that's my pause. Well, not pause, but deep thing, like you're waiting for something, kind of a feeling. So I feel like you are waiting for this thing that's coming in as a divine gift from the universe. You're waiting for it, and that was the Ace of Cups. So it's like is coming, and again, it could be from abroad, but it definitely feels like there is some growth overall that is ships coming in. Like it's something here that you are about to, it's new energy you're about to move into. Last card. Okay, the Swords. All right, that's respite. That's rest and relaxation, pulling back, and this is really in that space of, which I would say is kind of where it was leading anyway. It's almost like it's a quiet time for you. Something about October is now moving you in that space of, this is a quiet space. Everything is starting to restore in some way. Lots of cards here of healing. So say that whatever's taking place in October is somehow restoring you, even though you're really worried about it. You don't think it's going to be moving in the right direction, but and maybe down the road, who knows, but right now in this current space, I would say that the energy is still moving in a positive way. Like I said, there is possibly some kind of travel up ahead, maybe a little bit of a delay before that happens, but the Four of Swords next to that Three of Wands, still, it's a good combination for, again, period of rest, recuperation, but it's also that just quiet contemplation, really slowing things down. You might also feel a little bit deserted in some way here with that combination, but you're in wait of something better, and you do know it's coming. And I feel with that, like I said, the Ace of Cups, these are clarifiers, so it's not in your immediate energy, but you know it's coming. And it's almost like you're exhausted. There's a sense of trying to revitalize yourself and slow it down. But it also feels like, you feel the frustration. You're feeling the distance, of something, that you're trying to gain, and yet you're also in that space of trying to take time off from your problem. So there's also a sense of feeling a little bit deserted here as well. But I do feel like overall, you're going to start to see that despite the peace and the calm, to reflect more, but despite all that, it does feel like you're moving into a more calm place. You'll be getting some probably really good sleep in this period. But I just feel like overall, strong Libra energy, because the Four of Swords is also Libra. You're really into yourself at this time. There's a lot more of you getting in touch with you, and I just feel like you need to take that time. Okay, and I am going to pull these ones all back here, and we will do some questions. And Devansha, of course, has very kindly and super generous donated, so I am definitely doing Devansha here first. Okay, Devansha, what's your question? What's going on? And good morning. Well, actually, it's nighttime for me here, but And don't worry, Andrea, we'll do a short one there for you too. Devansha, sorry, looking for you. Oh, yeah, thank you. I like these cards too. I lose things, then I find them again, and I carry things around. And so, yeah, this one, I'm trying to remember what it was, but I really like these ones too. It's a little rabbit, Alice in Wonderland kind of deck. Okay, love, career, PD, and who's coming towards you? Okay, Spirit, please help me to see what is coming in for Devansha. What is coming in for Devansha very soon? What is coming in for Devansha very soon in terms of love interest and career and success? Will she successfully get her PhD? And who's coming in? Will she get her PhD? What is the Five of Cups? What is the Page of Cups bringing in? What is the Page of Cups bringing in? The PhD. Okay, and what is the relationship status? What is coming in terms of a relationship? What is coming in terms of a relationship? Coming in terms of a relationship for Devansha. Coming in terms of a relationship. What is the Four of Wands? Will Devansha meet this person soon, or is it someone she knows? What is the King of Pentacles? What is the Six of Wands? Okay, all right. So I'm just going to start out with what I've got. We'll start with, I'm going to pull these off to the side for just a second. Okay, so for Devansha, and again, thank you very much on that generosity. Okay, so what I'm seeing here, I'm going to turn this on a little brighter. So the Three of Wands in terms of a relationship doesn't mean that things are still growing. There's still something here about a friendship, because the three still indicate that. Unity can be in around group activity. So very strongly still correlated around all of that. Now the Three of Wands, like I said, does mean that something is still expanding, it's growing. So I feel like we're going to read some of the other cards there too, but because I'm kind of getting the feeling like this is somebody, there's a Knight of Cups, which I don't know who this is to you, can be a water sign, but with the Three of Wands and the Knight of Cups, my feeling is that this is still somebody that you know, could be again, it's still Leo, Sagittarius, Aries is this sign here. This is somebody who has kind of a dreamy sort of quality, and it's somebody also wanting to expand, wants to grow, wants to get better, wants to do things, you know, in a way where there's a milestone. So, you know, they want to meet the milestones. They want to make sure that they have a long-term plan. So they want to build solid footing. And this is definitely a card of who is, you know, looking forward to something, have a mission. He's a combination of Cancer and Leo. Well, there is Cancer here for sure with that Knight of Cups, which is coming through, but through only as a knight. So And yeah, your ex is the Cancer. Okay, so we'll see what comes out here. But like I said, that with this particular card with the Three of Wands, again, it's still Leo, Sagittarius, Aries, but it doesn't have to be. It can just represent those particular qualities in a person, because the cusp and all the rest of that. So, but I feel like this is where you are, like, just in terms of a relationship. I would say that still in that range of, you can still be optimistic in a situation, because there is something that's kind of moving ahead. It's almost like a soulmate, really. A soulmate kind of appears. I don't know if this is someone coming in. I don't really see any cards that are new showing me that this is a person. What this shows me is that this is a soulmate of some sort that might be coming in to your life, that has more of a, where you meet is somewhere casual, like how you're getting together is somewhere casual, or that you're out with friends, because the threes, like I said, it's more expansive, it's more shared sort of situation, and it's somewhere that can be by water, could be around water. The Seven of Pentacles, again, this is also something that kind of speaks to building on things, but it's solid footing, it's solid ground. In terms of a relationship, and again, it's still a certain sense of detachment there, because the seven, even though it's a fortuitous sort of lucky card, and the self, what's really standing out for me is the raven. What's really standing out is that bird's eye view of something. So it's almost like someone is almost separate from the situation, deliberately. And I would say that even in terms of, romance, well, it's almost like also what you reap what you sow, like the things that you put out, the energy that you put out into, is also kind of going to give you that same sort of payoff, right? So it's still productive. It's still, there's momentum here, and your patience will pay off. But in terms of romance, it's like you're reevaluating, or they are reevaluating, that relationship, how close things are, and that kind of thing. It's almost like there's a sense of trying to look at the situation. It's almost like, I'm not sure if it's because they feel like there's too much of a big lifestyle change, or something too dramatic that they're not really ready for. But it's like they're deliberately staying away for a reason here. And I'd say that it has something to do with, it's not that there's no steps taken towards you. It's more that the steps that are being taken are evaluated in a very hard look. Because the crow is quite smart and they're quite wise. And so it's like they're not unaware of the situation. They're not unaware of all of the other elements. And so because of that, they're really taking a long, hard look at the situation. So again, it feels like, even though there's something that's moving in your direction, it's almost like something might be too new, too big, too different for them to just jump into right now. And so they would rather take the steps they want to take at their own time frame, like on their own, because it almost feels like something might be too major of a lifestyle change, or too major of a shift for this person. And I say that because they're not in as a page, they're coming in as a knight. So it's almost like, yes, I'm here. Yes, I'll notice you. I am still willing to move towards you, but I'm also in that space of, it's an emotional connection for sure with an, but it also has that sense of, it's like something conquered, because the next card out below it is the Six of Wands. So to me, that's a conquering energy. So it's almost like something has to be conquered first, because the Knight of Cups, even though it's more of a rapid development emotionally, it still brings on that energy of a social environment. There's something about a social environment very strongly correlated with this person. And it could be travel, but there's definitely more excitement now, and there's more romance, there's more pickup, there's more something towards you, there's more movement. And it's almost like the emotion or the communication is warmer. And it feels like there is still I don't want to say that they're I don't really want to say kind of tuning you out at this time exactly, but there's something here that kind of speaks to um, like it's they're following a path with the heart, you're following a path with the heart, something like that. But there's a stirring of emotions. It's just that there is something here that kind of feels like there is a little bit of a pullback, but I'm not sure why. Like I see all these cards kind of moving towards you. And maybe that, but the timing may not be quite. Get to the Six of Wands, which is that, again, it's a conquering energy. So it's almost like they either have to have a victory before they move forward towards you or something like that. But it can also be that, I mean, there's still lots of sexual attraction here, I would say, absolutely, with the Six of Wands. But there's just something here that kind of speaks to, it's a persistent kind of energy to overcome obstacles. It's hard work, it's drive, it's ambition. So to me, in terms of a relationship, there could be a lot of jealousy, possibly. But there is also something here that, like I said, it still feels like there's something here about something is almost too big a shift to come to you right now. And I don't know why, but I feel like there is too big a shift of something right now. I don't know, but all the cards are so warm and communicative, meaning they're still advancing towards you, thinking fondly of you. And I don't feel like this is a new person in this particular reading. It feels like this is somebody where you kind of win the man or the woman of your dreams. It's that kind of energy. But it's still almost a sense of you get what you want, but, and there's a really deep understanding with this person, but it's almost like, again, there's almost like you have a pretty good idea of, when to back off and when to communicate, like when to sort of, how you feel about this person or how they feel about you. There's kind of a sense of going all in and then they pull back. It's something like that. Let me see here. I'm going to ask, this is, because I don't see cards of a new person. It feels like this is somebody you already know. But I will ask if this is actually, okay. I'm just checking to see if, what you had there. I'm going to ask if this is like an old connection, because like I say, I don't see cards indicating that a new person here. There is a flirty energy. There is somebody that's coming towards you. It does appear as water sign. It definitely has that sense of, being, this is somebody who kind of has a recurring energy. They want to win something. They see you as a prize or something. Like that kind of energy, because the Six of Wands is where they, it's an ego boost. They would do something because it's an ego boost. So it feels, I don't feel like it's somebody new, but I'll pull another card here and just see. Okay, then we come to the King of Pentacles. So, I mean, potentially it could be two different people. One is the King of Pentacles, somebody who has money, somebody who's really, this could be an older person for sure, because the Kings come in as a very mature person. The Knight came through as a Knight of Cups. So it might very well be that you have two people. Doesn't feel like they're brand new though, but King of Pentacles is somebody who is very well established. So I feel like this is somebody who really has a lot going for them. They have a high status. This is somebody who would easily be in, a self-employed sort of situation, or a manager, or somebody pretty high position. Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus as well, but definitely has a strong professional energy about them. It actually could be that you actually have more than one choice here. So, because this person does indicate that this is someone who has, like, they've established themselves and they are, well established, meaning that they have connections to other people, professional contacts, that kind of thing. But I just feel like this is still something about, because this person wines and dines and the other person is more flirty and emotional, but a lot, it's a different energy when it's a Knight. So this is someone who really plans things, but when we're dealing with the Knight ups, I mean, that again is somebody who's a little bit more immature. So it's like one person's older, one person is not old, or at least they don't have that emotional state. One's a little bit more, free floating and kind of creative and more emotionally focused, whereas the other person is more focused in a professional sense. Yeah, like two options. And I'm going to read the ones on the career. This one was just that it's just more around the emotional part of things. Page of Swords, there's still something about a communication. And again, I still feel a social event. I don't know if that'll be for both of them or just the one, but I definitely feel a social event of some sort is where you are connecting with the other person. The Page of Swords does indicate there's going to be something here pretty soon, I would say, coming in. It's not... it's more direct communication though, because the Page of Swords could be spying on you a little bit here too, and you're just unaware of it. But this it does come through as kind of spying energy, the Page of Swords. But as I said, I still feel like, just in terms of a relationship, there might be someone you are disagreeing with on a few major points. Yeah, I like the rabbit too, quite a bit. I love these cards. I have to remember where I put them next time so I don't have to keep looking for everything. But yeah, like I said, in terms of a relationship, this part kind of indicates to me there's going to be something that comes through here pretty soon. But again, it feels like somebody could be kind of spying on you. And I don't know if you represent as the Queen of Wands, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but if this is somebody who's a little more dynamic, gets a little bit more attention. So like I said, in short, and Gemini, Libra, Aquarius also here, but somebody's very curious about you, I would say, and I feel like you're going to get some kind of a communication. There's also a sense of a social event still coming through here, and that's where this person is either watching you or... Yeah, it is a lot of signs, but the ones that come out the most here, I would say, is really represented more as almost one is more professional, one is more of a younger kind of energy. So one person, I feel, like I said, seems to be kind of spying on you, I would say, and the other person is really more, that's not their thing. They're more professional, they're more, at ease with themselves, and they have a sense of purpose. The other person doesn't really seem to have as much of a sense of purpose. They seem to have more emotionally driven situations or circumstances. But I do feel a social event somehow is bringing you closer together. There could be some, like I said, there's something here where I just feel like in terms of a relationship, there's going to be something here of a communication, like I said, but I think it's coming in sooner than you think it is, because there's a lot that kind of speaks to advancing. There's still one section, the Three of Wands, that indicates there's a little bit of a pause, but like I said, the other one still speaks to you don't fully agree with the one person, probably the younger person, or the one that's a little bit more emotionally driven. You don't really agree with a lot of major points in the relationship. That is what I think is with that one. And that's why that one is on more of a pause basis, because it feels like you might be trying to change something about them and they're aware of that and they're not really ready to make that change. So part of that could be a little level of maturity that needs to come in there. Or as I said, it could be just something that has to develop and then you kind of meet in the middle sort of thing. But it still feels like these are not new people. But I'm going to just try one more card and then we'll do the career part. Is this a new person? These new people coming into Devansh's life. I still see two. Okay, is this new people coming into Devansh's life? Know both of these people. Does she know both of these people? One person, that conquering energy, like they see you as a conquest kind of thing, or they're doing it as a conquest. They just want to know they can. It's that kind of energy. Queen of Cups, again, emotional, receptive, Empress. Okay, Eight of Swords. It's almost like somebody's going to possibly self-sabotage it, whether this is you or them. It's almost like you could get in your own way of some connection. Like I said, I see the Emperor's card out here. They're all really positive. I don't really feel this is a new person. Again, Empress is an evolved energy. This is not new energy where you're getting to know somebody. The Empress energy is a big major arcana. And again, it does speak to a depth of emotion. So that's what, again, all the cards to me sort of speak to a deeper connection with a water sign. But again, there's one of these signs where you're not fully connected because it feels like there's some big major disagreements, even though whether it's fully spoken about or whether this is just something that's underneath the, you know, that they're aware of, but you aren't. But either way, there's something here that kind of speaks to a certain level of, receptivity, a lot of depth and a lot of emotion, a lot of connection with this, and sensuous. Like, this is a real nurturing kind of relationship. Whether I still see two people here, but again, one of them is a little bit more on the professional side and really does things in a far different way than the person. But it seems like you might be connecting with the emotional person first, but it's almost like you're going to try to sabotage it, or you're going to do something that might put the person at how do I say, discomfort. You're going to put them into a feeling of not wanting to get close, because you're not wanting to get close, because that Eight of Swords, like I said, when I see that one come out, I mean, it is an indicator that it's something about you talking yourself out of it, they're talking themselves out, or it's like conflicted feelings or something like that, but it still triggers. Things about thinking the worst of a situation. So you're either somebody's getting paralyzed by fear, could be that water sign, because there's so much of that, abundant sort of emotional sort of feeling, that I think that it's almost like it's triggering an insecurity in them. Again, it could be you too, but I kind of think, because deep down, they may want some kind of a connection, but it's almost like, you can't really go forward when one is not as mature as the other. So there's a feeling of frustration where things kind of bounce forward, bounce back. And again, it's mostly about mostly I would say about them feeling like they're going to have to do some kind of major change, and they're not willing to do that right now, because there's a certain level of dread that kind of goes with that change. And again, this could be you too, thinking that some inferior feelings, Cancer guy is immature. Yeah, that definitely is what I'm seeing there, because like I said, I feel like this person thinks that you're going to push them too hard and expect too much, and they're not ready for that. But the other person that I hear is ready for that. They wine and dine. They're more established. They're more willing to go the extra mile and put in all of the, but it would be on their terms, I would say. I feel like that person kind of takes control of the situation more so. Whereas the other one, like I said, I mean, the other one, I would say that one conquering energy is probably the King of Pentacles. The one that actually wants to, I want what I want, and I'm just going to get it. I'll reach out. I'll do the whining and dining and that kind of thing. And it's like, I don't know which one you're going to end up with here, but it definitely feels like you have two options. And the other part here, as far as your career aspirations, now some things here that kind of speak to, yeah, there's some disappointment, but there's definitely some kind of forward movement, but there's a little bit of back and forth with that one. So when I see the Strength card, you just have to persevere. So whatever it is you're trying to do at this point, it just feels like you're going to have to push through. So there's something here, and this is the Major Arcana that came out, so it's definitely something that is not an easy thing to do. I feel like you're in a stage of, because some of the cards came out here with disappointment and that kind of thing, it's really you having to push through quite hard to get through it. I would say that I wouldn't say that you're not doing it, because you're definitely doing it. There's very positive cards that speak to that. But I would just say that in terms of your career, you are still moving ahead. You just have to be patient. You have to really be firm with yourself, really, to get through this, because I feel like you will be able to look after, debts and your money, and things that you're expecting to move ahead will move ahead. And I even feel like you could be kind of establishing yourself in some way here that is in a bit of as an expert, because not only are you moving it into the Three of Pentacles. So it's like you're moving quite a ways up here, actually, is what I would say there. But yeah, the Strength card, definitely just keep persevering because your endurance will off. Now, this is where you are sitting at. So I feel like the Five of Cups, you don't think you're going to get there, or you don't feel like you're in a good space emotionally. I mean, the fives are all about the things that we have to shift, the things that you have to outgrow. So this is where you have to, the change around your situation seems to be emotional for you. But like I said, once you're able to kind of push through the emotional part of it, I feel like that's where you really get on top of things. But it's where there's a setback, or you feel there's been a setback. I don't know if some kind of recently learned of set you back, but this is a card of setback. So it's almost like there's, you know, for sure there's feelings of, you know, no way out, or you're feeling a certain level of disappointment, or, you know, something you feel is a bit of a loss in the work situation is still going to fare out better than you think, but it's just not resolving quickly. And that's where I think the problem lay. I also feel like, you know, whatever it is that you need to certainly deal with here, it's salvageable. There's things that you can do to get past it, to get past the obstacle or the delay, but it sort of plagues you, and you want to, because it's like you don't believe in yourself. This one, there is growth. There is 100% growth for sure, because the Three of Pentacles is where you end up. So that's why I say, I feel like you're actually ending up being more of an expert than you think you are. The Three of Pentacles is not just doing the job. The Three of Pentacles is leveling it up. So this is where you're actually able to establish a stronger routine, establish a better strategy, you know, getting to work. You're starting to actually establish more of a mastery of what you're doing. So I feel like you're actually getting through this. It's step-by-step sort of kind of a change that you're working toward, but I definitely feel like this is paying off for you. This is a lot of dedication. This is a lot of planning. Just getting to the end of something, it's like you're specializing in something. It's where you actually, you know, get to be whatever it is that you're going in for with a PhD and then some. So it's almost like you're discovering something that's better than just that end goal, that I would say there, because you are actually moving to a new level of ground. So I feel like you're specializing in something, you know, in particular that actually makes you part of a specialized group. Like you're better than just the completion of the goal. There's something here that tells me that it's a very mature energy, and it's one that brings ignition with it. The Four of Swords, again, this is you sort of in that space of pulling back, really, you know, you feel isolated, I say, really withdrawn. At this time, I would say that you do need a little bit of rest here, or you're either that, or you're spending a lot of time escaping and trying to take time away from something, but it's still feeling exhausted, feeling slowed down, feeling like there is, you know, stuck in neutral, not able to go forward. That's kind of where I feel like you're emotionally sort of in a not the best place right now, period of stagnation for sure. But it's almost like you need to put a little bit of distance between your problems, one thing at a time, and then that'll help you come up with some fresh ideas. But like I say, whatever your skill level is at, I feel you're going to be somebody who's more specialized than you think you will be, because your purpose seems to be, whether you see it or not, it feels like your purpose is really going to take a higher level once you kind of rest and recuperate. And even with the next card out with the Page of Cups, like I absolutely feel like you just need a bit of a break, is what it feels like. Changes or something like that. But at the end of this, it feels like you will be like more specialized than you think you will be, because there's something here, even with the Page of Cups coming in, that kind of speaks to, you know, professionally, you just feel like you're in the dole. It's like you're not feeling like you are kind of where you need to be. Again, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio is still relevant here, but it's still cards of focusing on expanding and a new beginning. And not only that, it's followed up with the Two of Wands. So 100%, only getting better. But again, it's almost like you need to take a little bit of a break, listen to your intuition, and, you know, just realize that where you're going to end up is not where you think you will, because I feel like you're going to be, I feel like you're actually going to take a new level of emotionally as well. Um, Once you get to this new space, because it feels like you're just not seeing it and that's blocking you. But you also had the Empress out here, so it's almost like so much more that's about to unfold. You just need to be still. You just need to be still and kind of yourself to seek that path of possibility, like focusing on one at a time. So how do they say mindfully, if you're just focusing on one thing, immersing yourself in it for a good period of time, and then you take a break and do something entirely different. So you shift your mindset so that you're not feeling like you're trapped by the activity. It feels like it's more, a sense of play. But you do need to take several breaks. Like that's the when you're in a heavy study, so that you actually absorb it too. But I just feel like right now you feel like you're accomplishing something, or that you don't feel like you're in a, like, professionally. It's professional with the Three of Pentacles, so it is some kind of a designation that's going to be impressive at the end of all this. The Two of Wands, it is progress. Two of Wands is you're still moving ahead. Again, it's like you're still at the doorway. You're not quite through it yet, for sure, but you're still finding some level of balance. It's like you're waiting on a decision, waiting on a choice that you have to make, something like that, because that's what the twos can be representing also. But it definitely feels like you're moving into a super workable plan. Something is, going in the right direction, like I said, overall. The other thing I would say is that you might be collaborating with somebody to kind of move this ahead as well. But it's definitely success, and it's stable, and it's a really good feeling at the end of it. Just to let you know, all of the words you see here are not blockages. It's you blockages. There's nothing that's actually in your way. But again, there could be more of a cooperative sort of effort here with that Two of Wands. But either way, I just feel like you are going to get a victory. I think it's going to be better than what you expect. I think that you are going to be more specialized than what you think. And I definitely feel like you are about to make these changes. They will be improving pretty soon here, actually. You just have to have a little bit more faith in yourself, like I said, because it's not just potential here. It's actually making, like you're quite talented, is what I would say there. And yeah, growth definitely feels like it's improving, because when I get to the Four of Wands, this is you being grounded. This is you feeling like, I know where I'm going. I know what I want from my relationships, my partnerships, my friendships. This is where you can actually feel like you can move ahead because you're in a better space. That's where it's ending up. So this is still that energy, where things are actually going prosperously, you know what I mean? It's a prosperous period. I'm not seeing lots of pentacles and all of that yet, but you are more specialized, and that would carry through with that card. But it definitely is a very card, and I definitely feel, again, you are going to find a way to put your money to work in a long-term way, because this is strong foundation with the Four of Wands. And again, this is connection with family, friends, things actually moving in a really good place. Could be moving to a better neighborhood as well. But either way, it's professionally stable and secure. Like I don't think you realize just how much more improved things are going to be for you once you get all of this underway. And it just feels like this is where you actually can start to plan the home, plan the marriage, plan the, all of the things. Is once you're in this space, it puts you into a really powerful sort of vibration. So just, I would say, stay the course, because what you've got coming in ahead of you is going to bring some really strong security for you. And it's not just security, you're going to be known in your field as specialized in some way. People will come to you for some particular talent or niche that you have. I don't know what that is exactly, but I do feel that you have no immediate blocks in front of you. It's just you versus you. But again, Three of Pentacles is quite a talent. It's quite a skill set. So you're really something. So for you what that is. And it's like you might deviate off from your original trajectory into something, again, more precise, more specialized. That's what it feels like. I don't know that yet, but that's what it feels like. So hopefully that gave you a little bit of insight. And I might just do, I'm just going to do one of the cards for you too as for advice. What is the best advice for, yeah, go ahead, ask another question. What is the best advice for Devansha? What is the best advice for Devansha? What is the best advice for Devansha? Get your timing right. Timing is critical in war, in sport, and in our relationships with other people. Deciding on your strategy or plan is essential, but it's only as good as it, but it is only as good as it is appropriate for the situation. Don't rush in like a bull in a china shop. Wait, and when the time is right, don't hesitate. That's your advice. The quality of a decision is like the well-timed swoop of a falcon, which enables it to strike and destroy its victim. You want to know if Arjun Gupta's feelings for me, can I expect some action from his side? Okay, let's check out Arjun's feelings. Okay, so what are Arjun's feelings? What are Arjun's feelings, and will he connect soon with Devansha? Cards that just fell out, I'm just going to take it just for the moment, but the Emperor, 10 of Wands. Ugh, something feels like a hardship for someone, and there's lots of control around that. Let's just keep going. Okay. Will Arjun, what does, how should I phrase that? King of Wands. Okay, that's a kind of action, but I usually like to get a clarifier before I say that for sure. Okay. All right, so will Arjun contact Devansha soon? Will Arjun contact Devansha soon? And what are his feelings? What are his feelings, and will he contact her? Okay, why the Justice card? Why the Queen of Pentacles? And why the Ace of... Why the Ace of Pentacles? What is the conflict? What is the Six of Cups? What is the Five of Cups? Three of Wands. Seven of Pentacles. By the Hermit. Okay, give me one more second here. All right, what I see here, Devansha, is, I mean, there's some good things, but there's also some holdback cards here. Let me just sort of pull this over so I can see it a little bit better. I don't know what the situation was with you guys entirely, but because what I see here is, I mean, there was disappointment for sure with the Five of Cups in about how someone was going forward. And it's almost like somebody kind of stalled out or delayed or didn't move forward or sat too long in one space and didn't act, something like that, because there's a lot of cards of sort of waiting around. I don't know if that's accurate, but what I also see here is that I would say there, you know, his emotions towards you are like there's a good foundation. Things are still positive in some ways, but there is something here of there being a disappointment emotionally. Something didn't live up to actions, and I feel like there was just something here that kind of felt like somebody didn't really move forward in a way that you were hoping for. And again, there's something here around conflict around money, or at least something, maybe there was a job or something like that, or something that fell through, or you know, something, there's some kind of a conflict with the Three of Swords for sure that's in around Ace of Pentacles. Now that's the one that that's not the big love energy that I would say is, but it does mean that there's something new that's kind of coming in here. I would say that there's still something here to work with for sure. Just, it's almost like, okay, when I see the Three of Swords and it's next to something from the Six of Cups, it's almost like there's disappointment with something with the past. There's a conflict of, I don't know if there was something about a situation with the past or something here about the past with regards to a Three of Cups. Now, not only do I see the Three of Cups, but it could be a friendship dynamic, or it could be, you know, maybe third party. I don't know, because usually my card for that. But I do feel like there's something here around the finances that's been a huge letdown. The Three of Swords is, you know, everything just sort of, it was a loss. It fell through. It didn't pan out. Now, the other part was the Justice card. So it's almost like, but it's also coupled here with, maybe I'll pull it forward. The Justice card is coupled with the Five of Wands. So I feel like the person is still trying to find their balance. It's like they're not there yet. And so because of that, it's like it's throwing off their balance. Like they can't go forward, you know, with any kind of plan, because it's not moving forward yet. And I would say even with the Queen of Pentacles next to the Four of Swords, it's almost like they're focused on the money, they're focused on how to get things going, but it's just always coming up short, because the Four of Swords means it's not, you know, moving forward. It's in, I don't want to say inaction, but it definitely is where there's a huge there's a pause of some sort here, where there's just not enough. There's just not enough activity. It's like a stall out sorts around finances, or around, there's frustration, high levels of frustration. This person's disappointed. They're tired. You know, it feels like they feel like they're off purpose, but I still feel like there's still hope with this situation. It's just that it doesn't feel like they believe maybe in themselves so much, and maybe they're kind of escaping in some ways here as well. Again, that Four of Swords, but either way, I want to see what the advice cards would be here as well. But anything around childhood that is conflictual for them. Like maybe some kind of, I don't want to say trauma necessarily, but maybe there's hostilities or conflict or something to do with childhood that is coming up here. You know, even though there is going to be some kind of celebration, or there's something here that's going to be positive to head, but it feels like there's something here around their childhood that has been disappointing, that has really held them back. And the other cards that came out here, again, was the Seven of Pentacles. So it's like there's something here that can grow, and it feels like it can grow because there's enough of a foundation. But when I see the Hermit card as the clarifier, it's almost like there's just not enough maturity to sort of get it there yet. That is something that takes time. That is something that's going to take experience to kind of get there. But I would still say that they can still bring their life into balance because the cards are out here, but it's almost like they have to kind of finish up this cycle of whatever it is that they're facing. They have to see the way clear before they can actually move into this energy. So again, I feel like most of this is just sort of time and maturity that has to come. They're just not quite there yet, because the Hermit means there's, and with the Seven of Pentacles, if they're laying the foundation right now in that space. So as much as it's getting there, it's still not to feel, they don't really feel like they can see yet. It's not tangibly showing up, I guess is what I want to say. Because like I said, the Hermit is that energy of feeling a bit of, needing to take some time away to kind of figure it out. The Five of Swords is also here, so that was with all of those energies. So I don't feel like they have the ability to lighten up and kind of get into this romantic space. I feel like they're still in that energy of seeking, learning, figuring things out, and I think that might be part of their own little darkness that they have to kind of work through before they can. So there's a bit of soul searching going on there, and looking for answers, looking for truths, trying to find deeper ways to, figure themselves out and find their own strengths, because the Hermit is, tying ends, but you have to go deep to sort of get there, and it's the crossroad energy. But I also see, again, with the Five of Swords, they're still working through the challenge. Like it's not that they're just coming out of it; they're still meshed with it. Because the five is, even though it's a minor arcana, it's still something of a change that, they have a lot of uncertainty. They're not really sure where they're going here just yet. So they're still kind of tapping into areas of themselves and figuring themselves out. So I think that's what the issue is, because it's almost like they're aware of the situation, they're aware you're there and all of that. But the feeling right now is that they feel cornered. They can't move ahead. There's nothing they can offer. There's nothing they can contribute, because there's a sense of needing to emotionally heal. There's a sense of having, too much of the problems to work through. They don't really know how to kind of get through it yet. The Five of Swords does indicate, though, that they're just deep in it right now. But I would say that whatever they've worked hasn't really, or whatever they've tried hasn't worked as well as they had hoped. And I feel like, they're still in that space of confronting the issues, but right now they're just trying to balance. Every time they tried something, it didn't quite go as well as they had hoped. And so it's like to try another direction. It's that feeling. So I would say that maybe they've lost a little bit more than what they've gained, but there's still some compromising that they're having to do to sort of, get ahead. So they're still being careful. And I still feel like they have the upper hand in things, but it's just something from the past, I think, is holding them back. If there was conflict with somebody in the past, but there's something there that sort of feels like it's holding things up. Also, the fact with the Three of Wands is that card of still going to move forward, but there's a delay. Still feels like there's emotional connection there that's pretty strong, because the Nine of Cups is, this is my person. This is somebody I feel comfortable with. This is somebody that I actually enjoy company. It's definitely very positive energy. I would say that they feel like they're pretty close to you emotionally. The only is all the other issues. And again, that's going to take time. Sometimes, if you really want somebody, sometimes you can, you don't take on their problems, but if you have, if you have it in you to help them, if you help yourself first, then you can help somebody else. But if you're struggling yourself and you try to help them at the same time, it can take you both, then you're both unhappy. But I would say once you kind of establish yourself, and of course, guys also have a certain sense of pride, so they may not want to be assisted in any way as well. But sometimes it's who you know and who you connect up with. So you don't have to tell them, I strategize this and this and this for you. But sometimes that can be something that helps to build the relationship, because things will fall into a better spot when you know that you're working together on a problem or on an issue, instead of saying, well, you're underachieving, so that means this, because then it just falls into a really bad place. But once you establish yourself, it'll be easier to, allow someone else to, like if you feel like you're in space, and it's easier to support somebody else and help them to build their dream or goal as well. But either way, I feel like a wish can come true here because of that Nine of Cups. So I don't think like that situation is really over with, because the Nine of Cups is the card of wish fulfillment. So it is a situation where I feel like you will have you'll derive emotional satisfaction from it. And I feel like there is a lot of commonalities between the two of you, and there can be a deepening of those commitments. But there's something here, I still felt like it was around a social event, but there's something this person is still struggling with that's in around finances with the Ace of Pentacles. A lot of conflict around that, and there's been some disappointment. So even coming to connection with them right now might put too much pressure on them to feel like they have to provide or be more, grounded, and they're not in that space. I do feel like social event still coming through here with the Three of Cups, though. But again, there's just something from the past and maybe there could be a gathering of old friends here too. But there's just something here that still speaks to kind of, struggling. And what was your other question there? I do see that there can be a future with him, but I think you have a bit of a wait. If you're, anxious to get something happening with somebody right away, I don't think he would be that person. But I do definitely feel like he is going to be someone that you can build a future with. It's just that there might be some imbalances, because this person, I feel, I don't know that I really saw cards about having lack of self-esteem or anything like that, but I did see that, the things of pride have been a bit of a letdown. So that's an ego hit, and especially for a guy, sometimes that can really sting. Okay, what are his feelings for Devansha? What are Arjun's feelings for Devansha? Okay, well, there is some jealousy, conflict, or something here. What's the Five of Wands? There's a bit of guardedness around you. What is the Eight of Swords? Self-sabotaging energies, keeping you at a distance for a reason. Wheel of Fortune is here, though. Feels like it could be a year or at least out. What is the Wheel of Fortune energy? High Priestess. Yeah, there's some unknown motives here. There's some things or secrets or things you know yet that are still at play that have to line up before anything moves forward. And then the other card was the Knight of Pentacles, slow moving. Yeah, so all of this is very slow moving. Whatever's happening between the two of you is not happening fast, and it is the Lover's card, so it is about connection. So I would definitely say that there is a good here, but I definitely feel like this, like I said, what is the Devil energy? What is Devil energy? Yeah, I mean, the problem is everything is cut in there a second, but yeah, everything is sitting at a halt. It's not moving forward, and that's the problem. So I do feel like if there's something that happens, it's not to say that it'll take a full year before you actually connect. I feel like there will be more of a connection, more contact before time, but I do feel like it's about a full year before you actually have, before you see any kind of real, what do you call change with this person. Because again, there is just a lot of energy here around some unknown factors yet here too. And again, that's something that's right with the Wheel of Fortune. So still positive, still going in the right direction, but I just feel like there's not there's just some battles he's going to have to go through on his own that you can't really, so it's probably for the best, because that way you devote all your time and energy into really focusing on the things that you want to do. But I still feel like you guys are going to connect here in the short while. I want to ask one more question on that. Will there be contact socially between Arjun and Devansha soon? because the actual romantic part of it seems to be really slow. Will there be some kind of social contact between Tansha and Arjun soon? Okay, well, there could be jealousy still or something here. No, there's something going on mentally for him right now anyway. Right now, it does seem to be he's working through some of his own little demons here in his head. I don't think, not going to be right immediate, that's for sure. I just feel he's not in a great place in his head right now. He's really trying to balance something out. He's really worried about something right now, and that's why his emotional state is blocked. Yep, that makes sense that he's jealous and competitive with you, because he is blocked. I don't see that he's walking through that door right away, but it's even more heightened right now. Right now, he's especially struggling. What's going on with him emotionally? Page of Swords. I don't know if he's going to be starting some kind... Is he going to be starting a new job or something? Or what is going on with Arjun? Yeah, the same cards keep coming up. It's around money. He's really worried about money. He's really in his head. I just feel like he's really stressed out right now. Because even the bottom card was the Hermit. Oh, and I'm just going to do one more quick question because my power's going to die out here. Let me just check. Oh, he doesn't want a relationship with you? No, I didn't say that. I think he is actually going to come around once things turn around for him. But right now, I just don't think that does he want a relationship with Devansha? Does Arjun want a relationship with Devansha down the road? Does he want a relationship with Devansha? He's in transition right now. Page of Wands does tell me there's something, yeah, and Emperor, but there's something about control issues for sure. He's trying to, Four of Cups, he's still really disappointed in some things right now. What is the Emperor coming through? Yeah, it does look like he does, actually. It's just that right now he's going through transition. That's what the Six of Swords is. He's going through transition. Just got to give him time. A lot of these problems and that kind of thing for most people, they don't settle over a month or two necessarily. It's like you're always kind of dragging through parts of yourself and revisiting it before you kind of really work through it. But you're welcome. Thank you very much, Devansha. I will have a good sleep. And until next time, always good talking to you guys. And I will talk to you in the next read.